And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I love kids jumping on my lap. And by the way,
that was a shit fuck, you know, cringe tour, etc., etc.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield.
$7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
Oh, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. With a can of soup, you can really put some power into that. And then when they get caught, it's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
What rules, you sons of bitches?
But it's a class action lawsuit against all machines and that they're defective devices, okay? I have lawyers worked on this for 5 months.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen. Everybody comes in your grandmother. Everybody comes in your grandmother. Everybody comes in your grandmother. Comes in your grandmother. They're coming all over the place. 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 And he's like this, and we will. They're coming all over the place. I need water. Help me! I need water. They're coming all over the place. 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 I need water. They're coming all over the place. They're coming all over the place. Help me. They're coming all over the place. 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 I need water. They're coming all over the television. They're coming all over the place. This is on live television. They're coming all over the place. This is on live. They're coming all over the place. This is on live. They're coming all over the place. This is on live television. They're coming all over the place. 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 Help me. They're coming all over the place. They're coming all over the place. They're coming all over the place. Everybody comes in your grandmother. Everybody comes in your grandmother. Comes in your grandmother. Everybody comes in your grandmother, your father, your mother, your brother, your cousins. They come in so easily, so crazy. So crazy. But everybody comes in your grandmother. 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 Everybody comes in your everybody comes in your grandmother.
Do not.
They had a very bad original concept. It was carried out poorly, and the cover-up was one of the worst in the history of cover-up. Very simple. Bad deal, should have never been thought of. Somebody really messed up, and they had the worst cover-up ever. And where it should have stopped is at the deal standpoint, when they thought about it. Because whoever thought of that idea, I think is in big trouble. I went in yesterday and there was a television screen and I said, this is genius. I'll kiss every guy, man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. I'll kiss him. I went in yesterday and there was a television screen and I said, this is genius.
Hello, users, and welcome to another goddamn. I am here. I'm alive, first of all. And, I just want to say, welcome to the show. We got a show going on today. It's actually, what? I don't even know what day it is. Hold up. It's Saturday, today, and I got some coffee here. And, we're gonna do a show. That's today's date is Saturday, is the date, and so today is Saturday, and as we know, Saturday is, in fact, the weekend. I'm highly caffeinated today. Is July 10. Wait, no, it's 12/10. July. It's Saturday today. Did I comb my hair? I do not own a comb. And I haven't brushed my hair in multiple days. But today is Saturday, July something. It's 12/10. Actually, it's still 12/10. And I'm doing a show today. Nick the Prick Brana was exposed again. That's unfortunate. And by was exposed, of course, we mean he exposed himself. Is that correct? Anyway, so let's get these out of my eyeballs so I can see. We got a show today. Today's the weekend. Today is Saturday. And for, you know, it's... And so let's, we got a show today. Let's drink some water. This is my water cup, by the way. You ever have like water like in like you ever like block water in your mouth like on the top of your tongue like hold up, check this out. Yeah. So today is the weekend. It's the weekend show. Today we got a show going on. Let's start the program. All right. So it's the weekend. Let's drink some coffee. What other show is there on the internet where some stupid bitch like, you know, drools all over herself live on stream? Does anyone know? Does anyone know? Like, can someone locate another show where someone is willing to do that? Because I haven't seen it or heard of it. So I'm just throwing that out there. Speaking of throwing things out there, let's get started with the news. This is from the New York Times. I'm a huge fan. With rising book bans, librarians have come under attack. Caustic fights over which books belong on the shelves have put librarians at the center of a bitter and widening culture war. And we got this lady. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little high this morning. I was doing some marijuana products last night. Woke up a little high, and this pattern here is really fucking with me. So I'm just gonna scroll down. I'm sure this lady is amazing, but I can't look at that. Martha Hickson, a high school librarian in Annandale, New Jersey, heard last fall that some parents were going to call for her library to ban certain books. So at 7 p.m., when she and her husband would usually watch Jeopardy, she got comfortable in her recliner and turned on a live stream of the local school board meeting. I swear to God, if some motherfucker calls me and interrupts Jeopardy, it's over. It's done. I will hold a grudge for the rest of my life. Jeopardy is sacred. You don't fucking interrupt Jeopardy, okay, motherfucker? A parent stood up and denounced two books, Lawn Boy and Genderqueer. Is Lawn Boy like Lawnmower Man? Because that movie was fucking cool. Calling them pornographic. Both books award winners with L, period, G, period, B, period, T, period, Q, period. Why are they putting periods in there? Characters and frank depictions of sex have been challenged around the country and were available at the North Hunterdon High School Library. Then the woman called out Miss Hickson, who was the librarian there, by name for allowing her 16-year-old son to check out the books. I don't know. It sounds like this lady's son has some things that they're looking into. That's what it sounds like. This amounts to an effort to groom our kids and to make them more willing to participate in the heinous acts described in these books, said the parent, Gina Delasant. According to a video recording of the meeting, it grooms them to accept the inappropriate advances of an adult. What? What? Miss Hickson said the accusation left her sick to her stomach with a tightness in her chest. I was stunned, she said. I couldn't believe it. This chat room. Anyway, Miss Hickson said the accusation... I already read that. As highly visible and politicized book bans have exploded across the country, librarians accustomed to being seen as dedicated public servants in their communities have found themselves on the front line of an acrimonious culture war with their careers and their personal reputations at risk. They have been labeled pedophiles on social media. Like, I need y'all to understand just how ridiculous this is. Like, imagine, like, you've been working, like, 40 fucking years at the library. You've been working, like, I've been working here, right? And then some stupid fucking idiot on Facebook calls you a pedophile because you work at a library. Isn't that insane? Like, maybe, like, I don't know. Like, we are at the library here, so I think that these librarians should check the definition and look for the definition of pedophile, because last time I checked, the definition of pedophile is not someone that is sitting around a book. Like, I don't, like, what does that mean? Like, oh no, someone has a book within a 3-foot vicinity, therefore, I don't know, man, it's in the dictionaries that makes them a pedophile now. Oh my God, called out by local politicians and reported to law enforcement officials. Imagine having cops, like, again, I just want to say, again, I need to underscore this point with this fucking pedophile stuff. Since QAnon, since the rise of QAnon, law enforcement groups that investigate sex trafficking of children, pedophilia, child molestation, all this kind of stuff, they have been less effective. Less people have been able to be, found out and arrested and whatever because of so many fake reports. And again, it's exploding again this year with this groomer. You're a groomer. People legitimately, because they're fucking stupid. We need to understand. Right-wingers they barely even qualify as human beings, motherfucker. I need you to understand. These are not Homo sapiens, okay?
All of a sudden, we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore. Right?
So when they flood these police hotlines with the librarian's a groomer, pedophile, right? When they do that shit, the cops have to investigate, because what if there's an off chance that it's real, right? So then, because all of their resources are being spent on investigating, oh, no, this is just a librarian. Oh, no, this is just a school teacher. Oh, no, this person just works at Barnes & Noble. Oh, like, because of that, they have less resources to actually investigate actual child sex crimes. So I really need you to understand. I need you to understand all of this Republican stuff that's going on with groomers and pedophiles. The actual, real world result is that there are more pedophiles roaming the streets. There are more actual child groomers roaming the streets. There are more children being trafficked through sex trafficking rings right now than there were 3-4 years ago, because people that are in these communities, right, that do traffic children, they know and take advantage of the fact that Republicans all across the country are basically making it impossible for law enforcement to track anything. So again, I need you to understand, the real world net effect in the real world in reality is the exact opposite of what these people are begging the outcome to be. Like, these motherfuckers, man. These motherfuckers, I have like spit on my glasses or something. Like the right-wing conservatives, right? The politicians, the people that program the voters, because the voters are just robots, right? The voters are basically just like a computer that doesn't even have an operating system installed on it, right? They're just programmable robots. They're NPCs. They're drones. They're zombies. They have no internal monologue. They just like believe God's controlling, oh God, right? They're fucking stupid motherfuckers, right? I need you to understand, anyone that would even think for a second, maybe I'll vote Republican, dumb as a motherfucker, dumb shit for brains cocksucker motherfucker, right? So these politicians like Donald Trump, for example, control them. They program them. They install whatever operating system they want on the blank fucking slate, and then they get them to do whatever. They're zombies. They're easily controllable. They're easily programmable. And what this means also is that they're reprogrammable, right? Republicans can care about something 1 minute, 2 days later, there's a caravan. Woo! Caravan! Woo! 2 days later, groomers! The groomers! 2 days later, COVID is a biological weapon and sent here by the Chinese. And then 2 days later, oh, it's just the sniffles. Right? Like, they have no critical thinking. They can't, like, they don't have a coherent ideology. Right? And, like, that's the thing. Like, for me, right, my coherent ideology is like, okay, I ask myself, what do I want? Well, I want the best possible outcome for every human on earth. I want the highest quality health outcomes, highest education. I want everyone to, like, be able to maximize, like, how they live their lives in absolute pleasure. I think we need to get rid of bullshit jobs. I think people should have, like, a 2-day work week. I think everyone should just chill the fuck out, have fun, you know, whatever. People should just love and enjoy their lives, right? That's my first principle. That's what my ideology is based on. The conservative ideology is, what does strong man online or on the TV, right? What do they tell me to do? That's their ideology, right? So whatever Richard Nixon says on the TV, that's what I got to do. Whatever Ronald Reagan says on the TV, I got to do that. Whatever George Bush says on the TV, either one, I got to do that. Whatever Donald Trump says on the Facebook, I got to do it. They literally do not have a coherent, or not even a coherent, but they don't have any ideology. They don't have any first principle. They have nothing at all. They're blank slates. They're zombies. I mean, that's the thing with zombies. At least you ever see a zombie movie, and then, like, every once in a while, one of the plot points is, like, the zombie can remember, like, oh, you're my daughter, but, like, they're a zombie, so they can't do anything about it, but you see, like, the tear go down their cheek. So I would argue that zombies have more, like, you know, brain power than the average Republican voter. They're fucking morons. They're the dumbest motherfuckers on planet Earth. Okay, motherfucker? So anyway, I was gonna read this whole article, but you know what? You get the idea. It's just a bunch of examples. Those quieter confrontations continue today, librarians said, but conflicts around bookstores, around books have drastically escalated. Now the Proud Boys, an extremist group, might show up at a school board meeting because books are on the agenda. Proud Boys disrupted a drag queen hosted story hour for families in San Lorenzo, California. It's also, and they also, like, with the cops in North Carolina, with the cops, stormed in, harassed the shit out of people as cops joined them. Cops were there joining them up in arms because kids were reading fucking books. I need you to understand, right? So you can read the rest of this if you'd like. But I want you to know that this pattern on her shirt, I mean, it's amazing, but, like, I'm too high for this. I need you to know that the net real world result of all of this stuff is that law enforcement is less able and capable to actually investigate child sex trafficking rings, child sex crimes. Less people are being brought to justice in these, heinous circles because of the right wing. So the right wing is saying, we want to protect our kids. And in the real world, more kids are being injured. More kids are being stolen, kidnapped, trafficked in the real world because of these people's actions. If these people just said, we need to save the kids, and then just did nothing, they're, like, again, law enforcement would be able to more often, they would be able to get more people safe. They would be able to, again, I just need you to understand. You can look this up. The rise of QAnon has basically destroyed any law enforcement's ability to investigate child sex crimes. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And again, Republican politicians, they don't care. And Republican voters, they not only do they not care, that implies that they have the ability to care or not care. They can't care because they're fucking zombies. They're sheep. They're not even real people. I need you to understand, the average Republican voter is so brain dead, so fucking stupid that, again, can you even call them a human being? I don't know, man. They're like a proto-human. They're like one, again,
all of a sudden we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore.
I don't know what to tell you, okay, motherfucker? Like, these motherfuckers are insane. I don't even know. It's ridiculous. I gotta turn my air conditioner on, so just bear the fuck with me here. Holy shit. I'm working myself up into a tizzy. What do we do about ignorant parents? We get them out of every position of society where they could possibly have power. That's what we do. If a stupid, dumb fuck conservative is in any elected chair or seat, get rid of them. If a stupid, dumb fuck conservative Republican moron is like calling up the phone on the school system, don't answer their calls. We need to ignore these motherfuckers. We need to get them out of every power position in the country, in the world. That's what we need to do. I don't give a fuck if some stupid parent is just like, you know, I hate the gays, right, on their like fucking porch, on their lawn chair on the porch, right? I mean, yeah, I personally, to be honest with you, in a world where I had more power than I do now, I would weaponize child protective services against conservative parents. If you teach your child to be racist, if you teach your child that, you know, being gay is a sin and you'll go to hell for all eternity and die, in my opinion, if you teach your child to be religious at all, I don't think you should be allowed to raise a child. I think that is, it's endangering your child. You are permanently handicapping your child for the rest of their lives by endangering them, by teaching them that, oh, black people are inferior, gay people are gonna go to hell, like, you know, this fucking shit's insane. And then kids, like, they believe that until they realize that they were brainwashed, and then they have to be unbrainwashed, and that's a whole other like, I don't want to spend all that money unbrainwashing a whole generation of kids from these stupid dumb fuck motherfucks. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them. In my opinion, conservatives shouldn't even have the right to vote. They're fucking stupid. They're dumb motherfuckers. But again, I don't think there's any realistic way to actually go about bringing about these policies. So I don't really, you know, in my ideal world where I had like unlimited power, that's what I would do. As far as where we are right now in the real world, I don't think there really is a way to strip conservatives of their right to have children or being able to vote. And I'd say that even going forward with that in like an actual political agenda, I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's a good idea. But that's what should happen, right? And I'm not afraid to say that that's what the ideal outcome would be. But I just don't see how that's possible. Hey. Alright, let's get into the news. I don't want this show to be like 10 years long, so you know, just bear the fuck with me. Just bear the fuck with me. Folks, space guy, epic dog man, Elon Musk, in the news once again. Elon Musk just terminated his deal to buy Twitter, and now he's being sued over it. I told y'all this. Remember when Elon said, I'm gonna buy Twitter, and everyone was up in arms, everyone was freaking the fuck out. Everyone was like, oh my god, Elon's gonna buy Twitter. And then everyone made like 13 trillion videos about it. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I made a bunch of videos about it because it was funny. But you can go watch any of my videos, and I told you that this would not happen. It just wouldn't happen, right? You can go back and check. And so, ultimately, what's going to end up happening here is that Elon Musk is going to paying $1 billion for a bunch of free press coverage. Well, I guess it's not free if he's going to spend $1 billion. Literally, and I shit you not, every news outlet was posting cringe about Elon Musk all day, every day for weeks. So effectively, what Elon Musk did was he spent $1 billion on a bunch of press coverage. You know what? I don't know if that's worth it. But anyway, let's read this. I'm reading from IGN. Why not? Elon Musk won't be buying Twitter after all. As reported by Bloomberg's Ed Ludlow, Musk is terminating his agreement to purchase the social media giant based on a new filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Twitter was formally notified that the $44 billion deal, which would have taken the social media private amid a host of other changes, was being terminated on Friday. This follows months of speculation that Musk had gotten cold feet over the deal as he repeatedly complained about what he said was Twitter's refusal to disclose all of its data on spam bots. So again, this is a very Trumpian tactic of like just making something up. Oh, there's spam bots. No fucking shit, they're spam bots. Twitter's like, oh, yeah, I think it's about 5%. Elon's like, no, it's 6.3%. You're lying to me. I'm Elon Musk. Blech. Right? So, again, it's just any reason at all to just get out of this fucking garbage. That's all he's gonna do. It doesn't matter. Like, the logic of it, irrelevant. None of that shit fucking matters. I need you motherfuckers to understand that shit, okay? So anyway, let's keep going. Earlier this week, Musk's Twitter buyout was reported to be in serious jeopardy as negotiations dragged on. Now it's been canceled entirely. In a response, but the thing about it, again, is he's essentially paying $1 billion for a bunch of press coverage, right? And the Elon defenders are going to go like, oh, Twitter is infested with spam bots. No fucking shit. No fucking shit. Right? No fucking shit. And again, Lindsay in the chat, do you think being sued was part of the plan? I do. Yes, I do. Because not only is he going to be sued, again, it's going to keep the story in the news. How long have you been hearing Elon Musk, Elon Musk, Elon Musk? Elon Musk has been one of the most, like, newsworthy figures since this whole Twitter bullshit started. Right? So, of course, he wanted to be sued. Right? He's so rich, being sued doesn't mean anything. He's not going to go to jail. It's a contract, so he's not going to jail. It's nothing criminal, right? The worst thing that's going to happen is he's going to pay a bunch of extra money. But guess what? He's going to be the victim. He's going to be the victim. All of his stupid new followers are going to be like, oh, Elon is sticking it to the man. Twitter lied about spam and Elon sticking up for the little guy. Because, again, Elon has this fucking personality defect. Like, you know, where I guess his fans have a personality defect where they think that Elon Musk is like he's like their avatar for like what the cool little guy would. Yeah, sure, he's one of the richest people in the world. He's probably in the top 5 or top 10 at the least, right? So, but like for whatever reason, his stupid fucking fans think that he's like just like them. Like he was sitting at the fucking loser lunch table in middle school or something. He's just like them, yeah. He's just like me. He's going against big tech. He's getting sued by big tech. He's the victim. He's going at him. That's the fucking vibe. So yes, I do think being sued was part of the plan. And again, anyone that didn't really get this, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, billionaires, they manipulate the media. This is a way for Elon Musk to manipulate the media. Now, do I think Elon Musk wants Twitter? I think, yes, he wants Twitter, right? But I also think that the way to go about getting Twitter in this instance, it didn't go the way he wanted. Like, in an ideal world, if Elon Musk could just take control of Twitter or something, or Facebook or whatever, any of these companies, I think he would love that. But also, you know what? It's also very powerful. Look at Trump. Trump went up against big tech, and that made him more popular with his base. So, again, it's just a way for him to spend a lot of money on news articles, and then this lawsuit's going to last weeks and weeks, months and months, if not years. He might drag it on for years. We might be seeing Twitter v. Elon Musk in the news in, like, 2025, right? So, like, again, this is just the way for him to just, like, get news bumped all day, every day. Everyone loves Elon. He's going to tweet about it. He's going to be like, oh, he's going to fucking incriminate himself on Twitter. He's going to do the whole thing. So anyway, I don't care about reading the rest of this. But anyway, fucking moron. I don't know what else to tell you. It's just fucking moron. I'll buy you a horse for a 10-year-long show. Damn. I mean, that's a good offer. I'm not gonna lie. That's a hell of an offer. That's a hell of an offer. All right, y'all. So I want to watch this. I watched like half of this, okay? Here's my intro for this. This is going to be fun. I watched like half of this, and then I was like, I'm going to save this for the show tomorrow. So, I don't know what's going on, but this is going to be extremely entertaining. All I know is that this is going to be extremely entertaining. So, Jordan Peterson, you know.
What rules, you sons of bitches?
Right, so Jordan... Can we talk about this clip, by the way? Like, I just want to listen to this again. Notice the way he says bitches, right? It's very, like, effeminate. Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just, like, listen to this real quick.
What rules, you sons of bitches?
Like, it's very interesting. I don't know. Maybe I think this whole crusade of Jordan Peterson is to hide something. He's letting it slip here.
The bitches.
Like, I don't know. Anyway. So, Jordan Peterson went on a show with Kyle Kuklinski. And I watched like a good 4 minutes of this, so maybe not half. And wow, this is extremely fun. Well, at least I'm aware that this is going to be extremely fun. I know from the little bit that I watched of this that this is going to be entertaining. And goddamn, so I want to watch this. This is going to be fun. Now, apparently there's a full like show, but like I don't really care about any of the other stuff, right? Like, okay, so I know that Kyle Kuklinski seems to think that Jordan Peterson at some point in time was like an intellectual, but I really need people to understand at no point in time has Jordan Peterson been an intellectual, right? He wrote a bunch of really basic books that I could write in my sleep, right? They don't tell you any, oh, clean your room. Oh shit, no. Oh, whoa. In order to not be depressed, I should clean my room. Whoa, holy fuck. That's, damn, you just changed the game here. Right, so again, these books are not impressive at all, right? Jordan Peterson became famous because he was attacking transgender people, right? So anyway, I'm going to play this clip. I'm sure it's going to be fun. It's 12 minutes. Let's speed it up a little bit. Let's go to town.
So I noticed just the other day you were banned from Twitter. Now, you know, I'm somebody, nobody can argue against my lefty credentials. Everybody knows I'm a man of the left. Having said that, my solution on this issue of social media censorship has always been, look, we need to expand...
Can we talk about, real quick, by the way, like, Jordan Peterson, like, what is this, like, this guy looks like he's about to cry any minute. Like, he looks like he's red in the face. Like, either he's had, like, 6 fucking, like, bottles of whiskey, like, right before coming on. He's red in the face. He can barely move. Like, I'm just saying, what the hell is going on here anyway?
And First Amendment protections. And the way you do that is to regulate these big social media companies like they're public utilities. So if you do that, then you know, basically you're saying this is the new public square and people can speak their mind here. Now, that doesn't mean, of course, you can't, you know, dox people or do direct threats of violence or anything like anything that's actually illegal will remain illegal. But outside of that, you can't censor people just based on political opinion. So, you know, I definitely wouldn't have banned you, suspended you, etc.
So the thing I appreciate about Kyle doing this, like, weird, like, I don't know why he does this, but I appreciate it in this instance because, like, what he's trying to do here is he's trying to come across as reasonable as possible to Jordan Peterson, right? In this instance, I think it's a good strategy. You're giving Jordan Peterson the rope, right? And the goal here is for him to hang himself. Now, I don't know if Kyle did this on purpose. I don't know if this was an intentional strategy. In fact, I'm willing to bet that it was not an intentional strategy because I know he does this kind of thing with a lot of really questionable people all the time. But in this instance, I appreciate it because Jordan Peterson goes off the rails. So let's watch.
But I do have a question about that specific tweet that did get you in trouble because, you know, you said something to the effect of...
well, I don't know if it got me in trouble. You know, I don't think I'm in trouble. Twitter banned me, but I don't consider that trouble.
That's fair enough.
Like, I don't know what that means. I don't...
Fair point. But you said something to the effect of, remember when pride was a sin, and the criminal physician...
And Ellen Page just had her breasts cut off by a criminal physician.
Criminal physician, exactly. So my question is the physician really criminal? If you agree that adults can decide to transition, then why would the physician be criminal? Don't adults have that right if they want to transition?
So, again... I watched Jordan Peterson's entire 15-minute short film, right? And I think it was like the 13-minute point. Like, he said that, like, there are some people that are rightfully transgender, right? Like, undoing his entire argument, right? So Jordan Peterson's argument is that if you're famous, you're not allowed to transition because someone might look up to you and do the same, and that might not be right for them, okay? But then, in the 15-minute short film that he posted about getting banned from Twitter where he was crying and whining like a child, right? He said that he acknowledged that some people do actually, like, you know, using these words like actually and need, right? Need the transition, right? He said that some people actually need the transition, and that, like, Elliot Page is like a trans trender who's making it harder for the real transsexuals or whatever the fuck to be able to, right? That was his argument, acknowledging that some transgender people are legitimate, right? So I think he acknowledges that, and he's going to take this opportunity to backtrack and say that there's no such thing as a legitimate transgender person, because that's what he's about to say here.
Not everything.
Like, okay, I just want to say, I want to go back here. Listen to this long pause. I'm going to put it at 1.0, right? So this is normal speed. Listen to how long this pause is, okay?
Can decide to transition, then why would the physician be criminal? Don't adults have that right if they want to transition?
Not everything legal isn't criminal.
Like, he thought, like, this was what's going through his mind. Okay, this motherfucker was like, what do I say? And then he comes out with the dumbest fucking okay, let's play it again.
They want to transition?
Not everything legal isn't criminal.
Like what? Like, not everything legal isn't criminal. What? Okay.
And do they have that right? See, I would have left Ellen Page alone if she hadn't been parading her new abs in a fashion magazine.
What? So, okay, let me get this straight. So, first of all, I know that this is a thing that Jordan Peterson does. He loves fashion magazines. Like, one of the most recent controversy before this one was that he was, like, rating, like, people on, like, swimsuit magazines. Like, oh, you're, like, too overweight for me, you're ugly. You're too underweight for me, you're ugly. You're beautiful, right? Like, what? Like, first of all, who reads magazines? Second of all, who reads fashion magazines? Third of all, who reads fashion magazines and, like, is a 60-year-old benzo addict freak show, like, adult male, right? Like, I don't know, man. It's a little weird, right? But also, why isn't Elliot Page allowed to be proud of his body? Like, that, what? Like, it, like, I just, what? So, again, this is what I said in the 15-minute short film video that I did of, like, these people, like, Elliot Page's crime is breathing oxygen. Like, I need you to understand. That's it. That's the crime. A transgender person was caught breathing on planet Earth. That is why all of this is happening. That's it. It doesn't matter about flaunting at. That doesn't mean anything. The mere fact that Elliot Page is alive and there is blood coursing through his veins. That's it. That is the extent of his crime. So let's keep going.
How many kids do you think she can convince to convert? One?
Yeah.
Okay, so now, again, the question is, don't adults have the right to transition? And then Jordan Peterson is like, Elliot Page, well, you know, Elliot Page's abs. What about the kids? That's not the question. Answer the fucking question. Answer the question. The question is, do adults have the right to transition? Who the fuck cares about whose abs? Who the fuck cares about kids? We're not talking about kids. We're talking about adults, motherfucker.
1,000? No, not yeah.
No, really? I want to respond to that.
Not yeah, really. What? What, motherfucker? You're not answering the question.
I think that with the trans community, it's very similar to the gay community, where back when that first became a big issue, people thought, oh, if we talk about it, if it's in magazines or whatever, we're promoting kids to go down that path. But really what happened is people are who they are. And if they're gay, they just decided to be like, yeah, I'm gay. And they were just more...
So, okay, Jordan Peterson, I guess, lives in like an alternate reality where like gay people are like grooming kids into being gay. Now again, the real world where everyone else lives in, whether they want to or not, including Jordan Peterson, is that gay rights are being more enshrined, right? And that means gay people are more comfortable coming out as gay. Now again, the amount of gay people and trans people has been the same and will always be the same throughout human history. That's just a fact. In the same way that intersex people are going to be about the same throughout human history, people that are left-handed are going to be about the same throughout human history, right? The only variable being introduced is societal acceptance, right? Like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, being left-handed was no big deal, right? Then religion comes along and says, oh, you're sin and God and hell. All of a sudden, people are like, right? Like they're trying to, they're sitting on their left hand, right? They're doing all that stupid shit, right? So the only variable is societal acceptance. That's it. That's the real world. But Jordan Peterson has a fan fiction. Maybe he's working on a novel. I know he's a writer, right? So maybe he's working on some novel. I don't know. But this is, again, I think he's leaking one of the draft scripts for his new novel or whatever he's working on. But again, in the real world, everything he's about to say is not real.
Open and honest with themselves. So I don't think you're promoting people to do that.
No,
You're
that's
just
not
saying,
what happened.
if you
You're
are that, it's
completely
okay.
wrong.
Okay, well,
You're utterly
I'm
wrong.
listening.
There's
I'm
nothing
listening.
about that.
And now he's yelling. Now again, the question, do adults have the right to seek health care? That's the question. That's Kyle's question. And now Jordan Peterson is yelling. He's in a fit of rage. He's getting red. Like, what the fuck?
That's right.
So
Well,
explain. I'm
there's been
listening.
an absolute look. One of the reasons that I opposed Bill C-16 in Canada to begin with.
Now he's doing the greatest hits tour. The reason why I became famous is because transgender people came to my classroom, sat down, and opened their books and wanted to learn. And I thought that was unacceptable. Like he's just going, like he's like a comedian. He's going into the greatest hits tour.
One of the reasons that I opposed Bill C-16 in Canada to begin with, this pronoun compelled speech bill, was because I knew.
By the way, that was never anything related to the bill at all. Like that's not what the bill had at all. Like he just made it up, right? Like the bill was basically just expanding protections for different kinds of people, and he turned it into this thing that it never was, never will be, and never has been. And that's how he became famous. He just lied about legislation. People brought him on TV, never really fact-checked him, and then that was it. Now he's famous. That's it.
Well, what was going to happen when we introduced confusion about gender identity into the public sphere.
Now, what does that mean, confusion? This is one of the things that the right loves to say. Confusion? Confusion. Like, yeah, I would say maybe there's a little, like a small slice of people that might have confusion. But most people are not confused. Most people know I'm this gender, but society wants to force me to be this gender. There's no confusion there. The only confusion, really, when you think about it, is with society. Society is confused about how to give people rights, because society does not like to give as many people as possible rights. Society likes to hold rights for an exclusive group as possible, right? So again, I am this gender. Society is trying to force me to be this gender. In the same way, I am left-handed. Society is trying to force me to be right-handed. There's no, like, it's not like left-handed people are confused about which hand they want to write with. They're not confused. They know which hand they want to write with. It's everyone else that's forcing it upon them. So again, there's really no... Now, I'm open to the idea that some people are confused, and that's possible, but it's a small minority of an already extremely small minority, right? So again, he's like, maybe, again, I think what he's doing is he's working on a novel. And this is the only thing that makes sense to me. He's working on a novel, right? He's knee-deep in a benzo relapse. Now, again, a lot of people tell me not to make fun of his benzo addiction. Go fuck yourself. I'm going to make fun of it twice as hard now, right? So I think he's, like, in the middle of a benzo-related relapse, and he's hallucinating slightly. He can't tell, like, What's the real world? What's this novel I'm working on in this alternate history fan fiction world? Like, he's genuinely, if anyone is confused here, it's this motherfucker, let me tell you.
Now, the argument was that if we left people with gender dysphoria alone to make their own way and stop torturing them, that...
Now, the thing that's weird here, I'm going to let this play a little bit again, but the argument was that we stopped torturing transgender people, right? I'm going to let this play a little bit again, but just note, why would you say torture?
We would decrease the mental health load on those individuals. And my analysis as a clinician was that for every one person of that sort that we hypothetically saved, we doom 1,000 more as a consequence of confusion and social contagion.
So again, there's no evidence for that. But he is literally, openly saying, the argument was we stop torturing people and they'll be happy. And I say, fuck that. I want to torture them. He just admits to torturing transgender people. His goal is to torture them. He just admits this. I want to play this again because it's important. He's just saying, people told me to stop torturing transgender people. I say, nah.
Those individuals. And my analysis as a clinician was that for every one person of that sort that we hypothetically saved, we doom 1,000 more as a consequence of confusion and social contagion. I knew the literature on psychogenic epidemics. They used to call that mass hysteria, and it's a literature that goes back about 300 years.
What about other kinds of literature that produces mass hysteria that's gone back about 2,000 years? It's called the Bible. It's called the Bible. This dumb motherfucker wants you to believe that transgender people breathing oxygen on planet Earth is an affront to the world, and he believes in God. Not just like his own personal spiritual relation with whatever he considers God as part of the universe. Nothing like interesting or unique like that. He believes in the Christian God. He's a Christian. He's a Christian fundamentalist. He's a basic bitch. He is the most basic bitch imaginable. He thinks the Bible is like the word of God. This is what this pride is a sin bullshit comes from. He's just a typical cookie cutter Christian fundamentalist loser. And he's gonna tell people like me that I'm confused? My man, lay off the Xanax. I don't know what to tell you.
And whenever you introduce, often when you introduce social confusion, you can produce a psychogenic epidemic, especially among, generally it's adolescent females who are most susceptible to it. So I thought, oh, well, what's going to happen is we'll produce a psychogenic epidemic of gender dysphoria among adolescent females. And
now again, I just want to be very clear. The reason why confused adolescent men love this guy so much is because he uses big words that they don't know the meaning of and they can't decode, and they think that that makes him smart. Like, again, he's basically just describing religion. Like, this guy is just describing Christianity or Islam or whatever. That's what he's describing. He's just describing religion. What do religious people do? They indoctrinate kids into believing that God is real, and if they're gay, they're going to go to hell. They're going to go to hell. So let me get this straight. If I'm gay, and an adult tells me I'm going to go to hell for all eternity, that's fine. Does anyone know how long eternity is? It's a long fucking time. So because I want to suck dick, right? I'm going to go to a fiery pit of hell for an infinite amount of time because I sucked one dick? I don't know, man. That's crazy. That's some crazy shit. If we want to talk about mass hysteria, I'm going to say, one, the people that believe in God. The people that believe that there's like another physical dimension known as hell. I got news for you. Other dimensions, they're not going to be physical 3D dimensions like we perceive them, okay? I'm just being honest with you. But, again, so there's a hell, but like this dimension, like, are you going to be in a human body in hell? Are you going to be like a soul? Like, what is this guy talking? But again, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense. This guy's crazy. He's on drugs. Like, literally. He's on, like, he just, like, popped, like, 15 Klonopin right before coming on. Like, this guy's fucked up.
Is exactly what's happened. And it isn't the fact that we've freed up people who are, in doubt about their identity to be who they are. That may have happened in...
And again, conservatives love in doubt, confusion. Motherfucker, I can tell you right now, no confusion whatsoever. If you see me and you think I'm anything but a woman, I got news for you. You are confused. You are on drugs. I suggest checking yourself back into that weird Russian rehabilitation center. Maybe eat a vegetable or two, motherfucker. Again, it's not that hard of a concept, okay?
A tiny minority of cases, it's absolutely and definitely the case that we've doomed thousands of kids to brutal, mutilating surgery and premature sterility. And we've done that on the altar of our hypothetical moral virtue and compassion.
Again, can he bring about any example? Any example of like a 6-year-old getting mutilation of their genitals? I can bring about examples of millions of kids actually getting their genitals mutilated. It's called circumcision. Does anyone know what Jordan Peterson's thoughts on circumcision are? Because, okay, I'm Jordan Peterson. I care so much about genital mutilation. It's my biggest problem. That's why I hate the transes, because they're all about mutilating genitals. So let's assume that's the case. If I were to be logically consistent and coherent, I wouldn't be a Christian. I wouldn't be religious. In fact, I would be anti-Christian. I would be anti-theist and go after religious institutions that promote circumcising babies. Right? Wrong. Because Jordan Peterson's a fucking dumbass. Right? But again, I need you to understand, these people, they don't have any coherence. They don't have any logic. There is no mathematical formula for, oh, yes, the logic of this is blah, 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 blah. They just spout dumbass shit. They're crazy. They're, in this case, literally on drugs.
Look, I read a corporate analysis of the trans surgery industry last week. Growth rate projection for you lefty types and your anti-corporatism.
Again, the solution... Now, first of all, there's inflation, right? So the dollar amount listed is going to go up on everything because of inflation. Second of all, the solution is a universal healthcare system. Third of all, again, if more people, because of growing societal acceptance, right? If more people are going to come out and more people are going to pursue medical treatment, then no fucking shit. There's going to be more medical treatment being given. No fucking shit. But again, if you're, the leftist would want Medicare for all. I'm interested to see what Kyle has to say. I don't think Kyle has talked. And is Kyle even in this video anymore? I don't know.
Growth rate projection, 15% per year. Invest now. A $350 million business as of 2022, projected to expand to $750 million by 2027. No moral hazard there?
Now again, the question was, are adults allowed to pursue healthcare? That's the question. And he has yet to answer that question.
There's plenty of moral hazard there. And that surgery is absolutely brutal.
So what percentage of the population do you think, in your conception of how this is unfolding, what percentage of the population do you think is going to end up being trans at the end of this? Do you think one day it's going to be like 70% of the country is trans?
Well, we know already that about 1 in 5 adolescents now identifies, to use that hated word, identifies as part of the hypothetical LGBTQ plus community.
Now again, like a kid who's like fucking 15 and who like kissed a girl and kissed a boy in fucking like at lunchtime, that doesn't make them trans. So again, how many people do you think are going to be transgender? Oh, well, we have a lot of people in high school and college are calling themselves bisexual, so I'm going to... No one cares. No one gives a fuck. Okay? No one fucking cares. Okay? Being bisexual, right, which is part of the LGBT whatever umbrella, right, that isn't being trans. So again, we're 0 for 2. Kyle's first question, are adults allowed to have healthcare choices? Didn't answer it. Kyle's second question, how many people are going to be trans? And now he's bringing up bisexuals, right?
So it's 1 in 5. I don't know what the upper limit is.
It's not 1 in 5. The statistic is 1 in 5 identify as LGBTQ. Most of that is people saying, yeah, I'm bisexual. That's most of that. That is a significant chunk of the 1 in 5. Of the 1 out of 5, right? Most of that is just bisexual. So 0 for 2. We're 0 for 2 on questions answered.
There's a consulting group in the UK now that's claiming there's 150 different genders. There's actually, I suppose, 7 billion different genders if you want to get technical about it, because everybody's temperament differs. But
okay. Whoa, hold the phone. I gotta get this. I gotta clip this. Hold the phone.
Different genders if you want to get technical. Different genders. There's actually, I suppose, 7 billion different genders if you want to get technical about it, because everybody's temperament differs. But I don't know.
Wow, man. All right, I agree with Jordan Peterson on this one. That's cool. Someone remind me to clip this. Look at this. It's at like 5:15. Someone DM me on Twitter. Whoever's got my DM me on Twitter. Remind me to do this, because that's a good one.
What the upper limit is. And I have no idea what the upper limit is for this surgical intervention. We'll see. But I don't find it. I don't.
So, now, everyone, I'm curious. Do you think Kyle Kalinski's going to push back at all? Do you think Kyle Kalinski's going to push back? Oh, I asked about trans stuff, and you mentioned bisexuals. Is Kyle going to push back at all? Let's find out.
I find it the least bit acceptable. And if you think that your compassion is demanding that you extend your pity to the LGBTQ plus community at the cost of sterilizing children, you should think again. You're on the wrong side of this, and not in a trivial way.
So again, question: how many people do you think will be trans in like 10 years? Answer: bisexuals exist. There's 7 billion genders. Sterilize a kid. What? What?
I would appreciate if you don't ascribe beliefs to me that I don't have. Remember, my original question was about...
Well, you said earlier in this question that,
I said
that you
Elliot Page is an adult, and so do you think...
Okay. Okay, so Kyle's actually going to push back. So again, 2 questions asked, 0 answers given. So let's see what that...
He has the right to
transition.
But that was the original
question. You made
question.
some comments after that. Yeah, but as a star and a public figure and a model for emulation, she also has the responsibility not to entice confused adolescents.
So again, using this logic, Jordan Peterson, as a star, right? As someone who's famous, doesn't Jordan Peterson have the responsibility to make sure that she does not confuse adolescent boys into thinking that there's a God? Right? Like, hello? Does talk about looking in a mirror, am I right, people? Someone passed the Xannies.
Into a catastrophic decision before they have the maturity to make that decision.
I just have to say, Jordan, I think it's a little bit of a moral panic. I just don't see some sort of, frenzy of people wanting to become trans.
First of all, that's a hell of a way to put it.
Why
don't you take a look at the increase in certain...
He's so mad. So again, I want everyone to know that, Kyle is doing the most basic bitch, pushback. You didn't answer my question? And now Jordan Peterson is yelling. He's, mad as fuck? Mila, no, I did not. Go back and rewind and watch.
Surgical interventions and see what you think. I mean, how many do you think is too many?
Again,
if we're talking about
I'll answer your question. The argument is it used to be very repressed because that's very outside of the tradition and the norm and the standard, and that now we sort of let the boot off the neck a little bit.
What used to be suppressed?
The entire LGBTQ community. I mean, it was very recently we even got gay marriage in the United States.
First of all, they're not a community.
Well, you understand the point I'm making.
No, actually, neither I understand it nor...
Okay, I'm just going to be honest. On this one, I hate the term, community. The queer community. The fucking... I hate the term, insert minority here, community. I I agree with Jordan Peterson. I think it's awkward language, but you know what? That's not the point here, right? And Jordan's going to nitpick on garbage.
Or you, and that's why we're delving into it. First of all, they're not a community. That's just a catchphrase. It's a buzzword.
Okay, and answer the question. Now, again, Jordan Peterson asked Kyle Kulinski one question. Kyle answered the question immediately. Kyle Kulinski has asked Jordan Peterson multiple questions, and she has yet to answer a single one. So just factor this into this equation. It's just, gish gallop, changing the subject, etc., etc.
And I'll tell you something else, that almost all the kids who are undergoing surgical intervention, the clinical literature is absolutely clear on this. 80% of kids with gender dysphoria identify as homosexual when they mature. 80%.
Okay, so first of all, homosexual. That is a sexual orientation. Okay? You can be transgender and also be gay. It's very possible. In fact, I think most trans people are gay. So, I'm just saying, okay? It's not like this idea that because a lot of trans people are also gay, that it means like trans people are just gay or something. Like it's not a logical thing. Like again, when Kyle asked how many people are trans do you think and going to be in the future, and he's like, oh, bisexuals. What? Like, this has nothing, they're not related. They're different concepts.
And that means the vast majority of people who are being converted surgically are gay. Now, how is that an advantage to the gay community, precisely?
No. See, I'm not taking a position in any way, shape, or form on the kids, because I don't know the first thing about this to comment on the kids. Well, but see, that's why we're having this conversation, though, is because my original question was about the adults and what your take is on the adults. And it sounds to me like, let me ask you guys, would you ban transition surgery for adults?
Is he going to answer? Like, I notice, by the way, like how long it takes for him to answer a question. Everyone, if you haven't seen the clip, if you have seen it before, shut the fuck up for a second. But if you haven't seen this clip before, what do you think his answer is going to be? Type it in the chat. Let's see. Is Jordan Peterson going to come out and advocate to ban healthcare for adults? Let's see.
The adults. And it sounds to me like, let me ask you guys, would you ban transition surgery for adults?
Start the clock?
I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, really. We're paying a big price for it, and I think that it was an act of stunning hubris to conduct the first trans surgery procedure.
But okay, I just want to remind everyone of this fun fact. A lot of people are familiar with Nazi book burnings. Did you know the first round of Nazi book burnings took place at medical institutes for gay and trans people? Nazis, as soon as they assumed power, went to these medical facilities, destroyed all of their research, murdered the people that worked there, and burned all the books of, again, medical research. You know those famous photos you see in the black and white Nazi book burnings? They're burning transgender medical research. So, what Jordan Peterson is literally doing is he is agreeing with Adolf Hitler. Now again, I'm not the one agreeing with Adolf Hitler. He is. He is saying the first people to do trans surgery made a big mistake. Adolf Hitler also said that. He agrees. Adolf Hitler agreed, and that's why he fucking had them executed and destroyed all the research. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Stunning hubris to conduct the first trans surgery procedure. And it's not obvious to me at all that it's been a net social good. And
but aren't there some people that are obviously trans, who were born in one body, they feel like they're in the other body, and when they're an adult, they can make the decision, and then even from just a freedom and liberty perspective, shouldn't they have that right? Even if they do it and then they regret it, shouldn't they have the right to try it?
It's a good question. I mean, it's a tricky one, right?
In the same question, let me ask this question. Shouldn't people have a right to pop 38 Xannies a day and then go to a Russian rehabilitation center for 2 years and never eat a vegetable? I think people have a right to get addicted to benzos. I'm just saying, I personally do. I agree. Even if they regret it later, I think that people have a right to down an entire bottle of Xanax every day. I think that's their right. Even if I think it's unhealthy for them, and even if they will think it's unhealthy for them in the long run, they have a right to do it. That's my opinion.
There's all sorts of surgical enhancement procedures that are it's not obviously appropriate to make them illegal. And I don't know exactly where the cutoff line is, so to speak, and that's partly why we're having a public discussion about it. But this entire argument, in many ways, is stated so idiotically that it almost defies description. What do you mean, feel like you're in the wrong body? What kind of measurement is that? Now, hang on a sec. There are rules for these sorts of diagnostic decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The rule is that you have to make a valid and reliable diagnosis. That's if you're diagnosing depression or anxiety or obsessive compulsive disorder or cancer or anything like that. There are standards.
So again, yes. How do you define depression? I'm sad because I missed the bus. Are you depressed? If we need to have a list of rules and a list of criteria to define depression, then guess what? We would have a list of criteria to define what gender dysphoria is, and guess what? We do. It exists. I know because I went through the process and I got asked a bunch of questions. I'm aware, right, of the existence of all of this, right? So I'm just saying,
standards that you have to abide by in order to make a diagnosis, in order to fulfill the obligations of your professional college. If someone comes to you and says, I feel like I have lung cancer, that is not sufficient grounds upon which to formulate a diagnosis, much less proceed.
Lung cancer is a physical ailment. It's cancer. You can do a cancer screening. So is Jordan Peterson basically saying any mental health condition or something that you can't it's like saying, I feel like I have foot fungus, and then checking your foot and there's nothing there, right? So is he just saying there's no such thing as depression, anxiety? Because if there's no such thing as anxiety, my question is, why the fuck did you get addicted to Xanax? If anxiety doesn't exist, why does Xanax exist? I'm just saying, I'm just throwing this out there, just asking questions.
Surgery. Mm-hmm. And so the question is, what do you mean by feel? What is that? Is that an emotion? Is it a motivation? Is it a philosophical conclusion? What is it?
Let me explain to you what I mean. So I've been doing my show for about a decade, and about 2 or 3 years into doing my show, there were some stories here and there that I covered about the trans issue. Somebody who is trans reached out to me and explained to me in a very straightforward way, yeah, look, I was born biologically female. I feel like I'm biologically male. My reality never lined up. Well, I'm just explaining what they said, and then you can respond however you'd like to respond. And they told me, as soon as I got the surgery, changed the way I dressed, changed the way I appeared, I felt phenomenally better. And so that's why, at least for me, this was the answer. Now, I think it would be incredibly arrogant for me to say back to that person, no, you shouldn't do that, or I know better than you do for yourself. And that's not to say that every time somebody does this, it works out well, of course, because everybody's an individual. But in some instances, that's the answer. So, me as a simple outsider, I just look at it and say, hey, whatever floats your boat, and if it works, it works.
Look, most of the time, my attitude is you can go to hell in handbasket any way you choose. If you're
what does that mean, hell in a handbasket? What does that mean? First of all, hell doesn't exist. It's made up. I wish Kyle would push back on the hell thing. This guy is a Christian fundamentalist freak show. Kyle claims to be an atheist, but there is no hell in a handbasket, okay? It's not real, okay? It doesn't exist. There's no such thing.
Adult.
And also, again, I agree that you should be allowed to get addicted to benzos if you want. All right, we're in agreement.
This problem is complicated and compounded by the fact of the necessity of medical involvement and the ethics on the medical front. So when you asked me about how that should be regulated, my answer was I'm not exactly sure about that. Yep, although it isn't obvious to me that it's obvious to me that the trans surgery enterprise has gone way too far. Thousands of people too far.
How? Why? Can you get any criteria going at all? Any? One piece, one criteria, one criterion. It's gone too far. Citation?
And I'm certain that it's harmed exponentially more people than it's helped.
I think the last statistic I saw is that about 1% to 2% of transgender people have detransitioned. That's the last statistic that I saw. And then in that small subset, most of the people that say that they have detransitioned have said so because they couldn't get access to medical care, because their family would disown them, right? Like their family like sent them to conversion therapy. They have nowhere else to live, right? So of the amount of people that have detransitioned, the most likely reason for someone to detransition is not because they aren't trans, but because other people are forcing them to detransition. So I'm just going to say, if it's exponentially more, it would have to be at least 51% of trans people have detransitioned, right? At least. For it to even get to the point where it's more. But if it's exponentially more, it'd have to be, I don't know what, it would have to be like 90%, 99%, but that's not the case. And there's no indication that that's the case. There's nothing.
All right, guys.
Anyway, I don't care, but I'm not going to watch the full video, but I saw a little bit of this, and that's hilarious. But it needs to be understood, Jordan Peterson is a moron. He answered 0 questions. 0 questions. 0. 0. And he would sarcastically ask Kyle Kalinske a question, and then Kyle would answer the question immediately. Now, again, I have a lot of criticisms of Kyle Kalinske. I think he's kind of a dork, okay? That being said, I watch his videos, okay? Just being honest. But, like, I have no idea how anybody, for any reason, at any time, at any moment in human history, I've got no fucking clue how anybody could possibly ever think that Jordan Peterson had an IQ above 6. I just can't. I just can't. The guy's a fucking moron. First of all, he believes in God. Strike one, you're out. He believes in hell. He believes that bisexual people are all trans. He thinks that sexuality and gender identity are the same thing. The guy's a fucking moron. He's a fucking moron. He's a stupid shit for brains loser. It's just that simple. He's dumb as fuck. So anyway, every time I make a video about Jordan Peterson, I get a bunch of really mad teenagers. I read Jordan Peterson's book, and I was inspired. Okay, great. Happy for you. But now you can move on. So I wish the best for you. I hope you recover soon. In the same way that obviously Jordan Peterson is relapsing, and we need to have this serious conversation. This is the serious conversation here. Like, look at this guy's face, right? Like, look at his face. Now, again, I have no problem whatsoever with people that are addicted to drugs. I consider myself a drug addict. It's just that the drugs I'm addicted to aren't as dangerous as benzos, right? But, I mean, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. Let's just put this one to the public, okay? You tell me. Leave a comment in the comment section. Do you think Jordan Peterson is currently relapsing? Yes or no? It might explain why he goes on podcasts and cries all the time. He's cried on like 18 different podcasts in this year alone. He's cried on live on stream, on television. He's cried. So I'm just saying, just throwing this out there. I think he's relapsing. Anyway, Jordan Peterson, not bright. Definitely not that smart.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
And then also,
all of a sudden we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore.
That's all I got. You handed Dr. Peterson. First of all, people that call Jordan Peterson Dr. Peterson, big red flag. Big red flag. But let me read. Of my book in San Diego, 3 years, shaking his hand told me a lot. What did it tell you? If I scan Kyle's comment section, I'd assume that most people are just dunking on Jordan Peterson. Yeah, these comments suck. It's just a bunch of people saying, oh, it was so fun to watch. Like, I mean, I guess I agree, but not for the same reasons. Anyway, folks, that's pretty much my show for today. Again, I didn't want to do a long show today. Something quick, something easy. Get some fun. I know that there's going to be some fun comments on the clips when I upload those. He knows Dostoevsky, but can't answer any questions. What does that have to do with shaking his hand, though, is my question. No movie review? I watched some shit last night, but I was so high that honestly I don't feel like I could properly review something. Dr. Peterson, again with this Dr. Peterson, helped me to shake back after my... Alright. Maybe I gotta rewatch the movie before I review it. I'll let you know later. This weekend, Max the dog goes to the vet. So, gotta get ready for that. It's happening very soon, actually, so I gotta get the fuck out of here. Horror movies often go off the rails in the third act. Absolutely. That's what I like about them. Horror movies are great. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. But yeah, anyway, I've never driven a car before in my life, Donald James. Anyway, Nick Cage interview with Wogan from 90. No, I haven't. I highly recommend, if I were to recommend anything, I recommend Giving Me Money. I think Giving Me Money is a very important thing that you can do to fund this show and to fund Max the dog's life as well. Give me money. I don't know. Like, do I need to say anything? Like, do I need a pitch? Give me money and you won't go to hell. Am I allowed to say that? Fuck. Donald James X, $5 super chat. Thank you. Give me money and your wish will come true. I hate cars because they destroyed the planet, both in the climate and in the way our cities are created. They've destroyed public transportation. They're extremely prohibitive, gatekeeping. They cost too much money. They destroy everyone's finances. I hate cars for a lot of reasons. Like, how many people die a year in car accidents? $37,000 people in 2016. 42,000 people in 21. So let's average it out. 40,000 people a year die of car crashes, and people are just like, alright. Fuck it. Depleted uranium cowboy, $5. Staying out of hell for a $5. Oh yeah. I would not. I would feel even more. My hatred for cars is like, that's an extremely like conservative kind of argument. You know, it's like, if you just got behind the wheel, maybe then you'd be okay with 40,000 people. It's like, oh, maybe if you would start your own business and made a lot of money, maybe then you'd understand why taxes are bad. You know, it's like, I disagree. Fully electric cars, I mean, that doesn't solve the crisis with car accidents at all. Like, I just think cars are garbage. I think we need to completely restructure our entire society. Cars are garbage. Like, they take up so much space. Roads take up so much space. 40,000 people a year die. Like, if you are just okay with 40,000 people dying every year, that's just my argument is I'm not okay with that. In the same way that I'm not okay with 338,000 or whatever people dying over the course of the pandemic because they didn't have health insurance. I'm not okay with that. Therefore, I want to solve that problem by having a universal healthcare system. Like, I'm not saying like we get rid of cars and then do nothing else, you know, because then how the fuck are people going to get around? We need to have trains. We need to have, like, we could probably build teleporters if we wanted to. Too much anxiety to ride public transportation? I have an anxiety disorder and I can ride the bus if I need to, but I haven't ridden the bus since COVID started because I'd rather walk. But what about abortions? Millions dead. No single person has ever died from an abortion. Though I can point to people that have died because they couldn't get an abortion. I mean, first of all, why do you need to go 100 miles somewhere? Like, that's the first question you need to ask yourself. Second question is, why can't you just use a train? And if trains are okay, why can't we have like single room, like if we put all of our money, billions and billions of dollars into trains, we could have like, you just have a small room to yourself, you know, on the train. Like everyone, you could divide each train into like a hallway in the middle, small rooms on the side. You sit down, you got a little place to sit, look out the window, you know. You gotta think outside the box. That's the problem with you old motherfuckers. You're too entrenched in society. You see this shit? You see what's in here? This is an idea machine. This is an idea fucking machine. That's right. Some fucking ideas in this machine. Cities were designed for horses and walking originally, but then all the cities in the world got fucked up by roads and cars. I mean, look at New York. Like, look at New York City, right? Like, they bulldozed down, like, millions of people's homes, particularly black neighborhoods, to build these beltways for the stupid fucking cars. Look at any city in this country. Look at what areas have been bulldozed and destroyed for roads, highways, beltways. And you'll find out that it's like 99% of the time it's like black neighborhoods that they've destroyed, displaced. So I'm just saying, cars. Fuck cars. I'm not doing an Above It All meetup until this fucking goddamn pandemic's over. And just because, like, think about it this way. If you were ever conscious of COVID at all, think about it this way. COVID is much worse. More people have it, right? It's a higher rate of transmission, higher death rate, higher vaccine evasiveness now than it was whenever you were theoretically afraid of it. So anyone who's not afraid of COVID is a fucking moron as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not going to put my viewers at risk. I'm not going to get my viewers sick and give them neurological diseases for the rest of their fucking lives. So, maybe 2023, we'll see. I was originally wanting to do it 2021. That was my original plan. Then I was thinking, alright, 2022. Now, I don't even know. I have no idea. I don't know. Anyway, what I do know is that I gotta go pee. So, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
What rules, you sons of bitches?
So notice something. I defended him on his bad joke because I have standards and I have principles.
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
Everybody comes in, your grandmother. We've ended the war on American energy. We were in war. And we've ended the war on beautiful, clean coal, one of our great natural resources.
I liked beer. I still like beer. But I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out.